between the president and independent voters. Joining us now to talk about it, Brad Woodhouse. He is the communications director for the Democratic National Committee. Sean Spicer, the communications director for the Republican National Committee. Good to see you both. Brad, let me start with you.
Hey, Greg. Yeah.
When Democrats were polled on this, 64%, we'll put it on the screen, 64% said the government should do more, not less. Isn't the president and his party out of sync with a majority of Americans and two-thirds of independents who believe the opposite?
Well, no, not at all. And in fact, this question doesn't get at the heart of what Mitt Romney said. I mean, Mitt Romney just wrote off half the country, saying that they were dependent victims. He wasn't talking about government programs. He was talking about people. He wrote off 50% of the people. So this doesn't really get to the heart of what Mitt Romney said. Now, the polls show that what Mitt Romney said has been disapproved. If you just play his remarks for voters, disapproved 2-to-1 by voters, and that's what we've been talking about is what he said. And what he said was that half the country wasn't worthy of his time or attention in this presidential election.
Sean, let me go to you. Earlier this month, a CNN poll found that Governor Romney leads President Obama among likely independent voters by a substantial 14 points, 54%, look at this, to 40%. And he also leads among independents in critical swing states like Ohio and Florida. And yet, U.S. News & World Report points out there's been almost no mention of it in the media. I wonder why.
Well, I think what you are starting to see is that independents are largely part of the 60% of Americans that think that this country is off on the wrong track. And right now that they are giving a stark contrast as to what this election presents in terms of more government-centered world country or a free enterprise system that Governor Romney offers, one that rewards innovation and entrepreneurship. But the bigger thing that you also see in the numbers is in 8 of 12 battleground states, the Democrats have really lost a lot of their voter registration. And when you look at those battleground states, in 2008, President Obama won a state like Wisconsin by 14 points, Nevada by 13, New Hampshire and Iowa by 10, respectively, Colorado by 9. And now all those battleground states are dead even. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the independents saying that they're ready to come home, that they've been starting to pay attention to this race, and they're ready for a clear choice and to go with Governor Romney because of the way the economy's going and the debt's going.
Let me move on to another poll, a Bloomberg poll. It found 1 in 5 voters are what they call persuadable. And more of them lean toward Governor Romney. Look at that. 41% of those persuadables say Romney has laid out a better economic vision compared to 25% saying the president have. Is the president in danger of losing the persuadables? And, you know, those folks may dictate the election.
Well, look, you won't find this surprising, but I don't think so. And, you know, Sean has got some wishful thinking here. First of all, Wisconsin's not tied. These races are not tied. The president has a lead in the battleground states, and irrespective of what one poll might show about it.
But not among independents is the point we were trying to make.
Greg, Mitt Romney's not going to just be voted on by independents. I mean,
independents sometimes make or break a state,
they may or they may not. But one poll on independents is not the final word on where
generally
they
account for 1 in 5 voters. So I mean that's a lot of voters.
But Greg, one CNN poll taken 3 weeks ago is not. Is not going to be dispositive as to how the outcome of this election is.
Well, that's why I put up a Gallup poll to make sure that it wasn't just one poll.
Well, look, Greg, there's not one battleground state. There's not one battleground state where the president doesn't have a lead, including North Carolina.
I know, but what you're not doing, Brad, is you're not breaking it down by voters, Democrats, Republicans, independents, persuadables, and that's what we really wanted to look at here today because we found it rather interesting.
Well,
but Sean, let me go to you for the last question. I'm out of time here. A veteran pollster, Whit Ayers, says that undecided voters historically choose the challenger on Election Day, and I'll quote him from the Wall Street Journal. You would expect the remaining undecided voters to break not exclusively, but disproportionately for Romney rather than Obama. Does that make the Wednesday debate and those thereafter more relevant, more vital for Americans?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in to kind of hear this contrast that exists. I think the key word, though, is after 4 years, if you're happy with the economy where it is, with the debt where it is right now, and as you pointed out, the word is persuadable. I think we were persuaded in 2008, but now it's time for results, and people aren't seeing them. So I think at this point, what they really want to do is continue to hear from Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan about their plan to move America forward. They've seen being they were persuaded in 2008.
Sean.
That didn't work out.
Sean,
that didn't work out, and I think right now that they want to learn more about Governor Romney and move this country in a new direction.
All right, Brad, you get the last word.
Well, look, I think that would be great if they would lay out a specific plan, and that's what we would love to see in the debates. You know, Paul Ryan said yesterday that he didn't have time to tell the American people about their tax plan. So, Sean, we'll hold Governor Romney to specifics.
It's all on MittRomney.com. Why don't you look at it, Brad?
Paul Ryan twice said that it was revenue neutral.
Like.
The math that means is zero. He was asked about the math. He twice said revenue neutral. That's zero. That's a digit. That's the math. And I'll leave it at that.
The math is how you get there, though.
Right.
That's
the
math
plan's all on the website. Go look at it, Brad. He actually, they do have a great plan that they put forward, unlike the president right now. That
we could go on and on.
From.
Brad Woodhouse, Sean Spicer. Gentlemen, thanks very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Well, the threat of a nuclear